Hello, welcome to the podcast. We haven't talked at all about how we were going to intro things or do anything.
No, I don't think we did, but I guess we can introduce ourselves if we want to.
I feel like if anyone's watching this, if you don't know who we are, I'm so sorry.
Oh.
You might actually, I take that back. You probably actually have people that will not know that. Well, actually, I don't know. We both might have people that are watching.
Yeah, I mean, people that might know us, but, that's just a cordial.
I'm Nicole.
I am Torres. And this is our podcast, Don't Be Mad at Me.
Yeah.
So,
Don't get mad at me.
Was it Don't Get Mad at Me?
Don't get mad at me.
Don't Get Mad at Me. Don't Get Mad at Me. Yeah, the lore behind that. Should I?
I feel like the lore is that not every single time, I take that back.
More often than
a
not.
lot of times, whenever it is that there is a hangout and we show up to either ones of each other's places, and when there's a story or an update, it usually starts off with okay, don't get mad at me.
But this happened.
But I definitely fill in the blanks.
A lot of repeated offenses with men that we shouldn't be. That we shouldn't be seeing. Repeated offenses of men we shouldn't be seeing. Just things that I regret saying to friends. Arguments that have gone into with friends. But I think mostly, we say that because I feel like we're very open and comfortable to sharing these very personal things with each other, right?
Well, yeah. That's the thing, is that it's not like kind of like we were talking, right, where there's no actual judgment being passed on whatever it is you say. I will say words strongly at you, towards you, in your direction, but it's not like I'm actually I don't actually think you're dumb for doing something, right, or something. It's just more because I also understand that by you telling me that embarrassing or petty or thing that you knew better than what to do, but you still did it anyways. I know that you telling me that is you being I trust you. And I'm yeah, because I've also done my fair share of those things and my fair share of, I'm in love with him. And then 2 months later, wait, who was that again? Those things. So,
I'll never forget, there was this person that I was dating and I was very much infatuated with this person. I remember there were I don't
even know who this one could be.
There was a lot of red flags, but I remember you saying that, I may not necessarily agree with your decision, but I will support you no matter what because I'm happy for you. Obviously for things that are more dire, then I think you would intervene and do something about it. Or just be you're dumb.
To be fair, I don't think you've ever actually told me before you've done anything that I've been that was actually a really bad idea. I think you've tended to just do it, and then I will see the aftermath and go, can we, what is that? Why is that? What happened there?
It's funny because I feel there's a lot of people that I know, a lot of friends that I have where they try to be very cautious with their decisions, right? Because they don't want to make mistakes. It's not that I actively go out and be a mess, right? But I do think that I want to make a decision and we fuck up, we repair it, we move on. I think that's the important thing in my set of values. I feel I think it's important to experience something and then make the call whether or not do we keep doing this or do we not keep doing this, and more specifically, more so with men that I date.
Well, it's the learning process, right? And part of it is, your bracelet, actually, can you just take it off?
I'll take it off.
You're going to be talking a lot with your hands, and that's why I like the video component of this. But for the audio-only component, if I was a listener, that would drive me insane.
We're learning today, folks.
I do not
learning today.
we'll fix it in post thing, because no, you know who has to fix it in post? I do. I'm the one that's fixing it in post, and I don't want to do that.
Wait, should I take this ring off?
No, your ring's nice. Okay. Actually, can you tell me about the ring? Because I know that you texted me when you're on your way here and you're you got it resized?
Yeah, I did get it resized.
So I haven't seen this before.
Yeah, it's pure sterling silver. It's pretty heavy and it's zirconian crystal.
That's really pretty.
I just took on this big freelance project and it was a monolith of a project. But I was really happy how it turned out. The client was super happy, and I told myself, like, after completing everything, that I was going to buy myself something nice. So I bought myself this ring. I don't know if we can do shout outs, but it's a really beautiful ring.
This is like it's like a piercing.
It's a piercing.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that like an actual piercing?
It is a piercing. I mean, what I like about it too, I've always been a big fan of, like, I love heart shape. Like, I love a heart shape. Like, it's been my favorite shape as a child. And, like, I think what I like about, like, it's supposed to be like a piercing. I don't know if you guys can see it.
I'm sure it'll be on his Instagram.
But I like that it kind of looks like a dumbbell or like a barbell.
Oh, for like lifting.
Yeah. And so I thought that was like really sick. And so, originally I was going to buy a pink stone for this. Those that know me, I love the color pink. Like, pink has been the color of my life for such a long time. But I think with the stage that I'm at in life, for like a clear crystal makes more sense for me.
Yeah, because you've been going more for your, like, I want to say dirt colors. Like, it's not dirt colors, but, like, very, like, if you were to walk into a forest, you wouldn't necessarily be like, there's a pink thing. I mean, there are pink in nature, right? But, like, I would be more like, there's something silver there, or granite, or whatever, right?
If I die in a ditch, they need to find me.
I mean, like, identify you?
Well, like, because I would assume that because it's so shiny. Like, this actually shines really bright.
Like,
that's what I was thinking you were going with.
Oh, I was thinking, like, if we need to identify your body, I was like, I think that there's other things about you. I would be like, oh, that's Torres, other than your jewelry.
No, it's weird because it's like, I don't know. I feel like I've been told I look good in gold, but I like silver because it feels more young, I think. I like to think of silver as like a second chance. If that makes sense. Like, gold is very, like, main stage star, but I feel like silver's like, I fucked up and I was born again from the ashes. Does that make sense? Like, it's self-reflective. That's what I'm trying to say. I think silver's very self-reflective, almost like mirror-ish.
It's interesting. I wonder where you're getting that from, because I'm like, I could say that about gold also, but, like,
I don't know.
Kind of like gold. Yesterday we were talking about the whole, like, cultural, how things are tied to, like, cultural things, right? And like, our perception, because, like, I mean, I'm sure you also run into this with, like, illustrating, right? The whole, like, what's tied to color and, like, the way color, because, there's the whole thing like, oh, psychology behind color, and, like, but that's always, I'm like, that's coming from a really specific group and, like, a specific, like, aimed at people within a certain group, right? Because like, red doesn't mean the same thing, and, like, also what tone of red, right? Within every, like, to everyone. And so, like, that's why I'm like, oh, interesting that you think that about silver, because I would also think that about, like, gold, right? Because there's the whole thing about, oh, purifying gold and purifying silver also, but, like,
you know why I like silver? Because it reflects all the colors. With gold, you're always going to have that yellow tint, whereas with silver, like, it really takes in everything. And I like that it's so self-reflective. Like, I'm gonna say something self-centered here. We have
a podcast. It's all about us.
I don't know. I just feel like I've always been attracted to silver because of that reason. And I think also too because the clear stone, I feel, acts like a mirror. And I think, I don't know, this growth or this journey that I've been on has been a lot about, I think I've always been a self-reflective person, I think. And I think I wanted to commemorate that with, like, this ring. You
can also change out the piercing if you wanted to, right?
Yeah, you definitely could.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think it's, like, really beautiful, and I just really love this ring a lot. Like, this motherfucker shines, like, real bright. Like, I was outside in the sun, I was like, oh shit, like, I could get a tan from this. But yeah, I told myself I was gonna buy a little ring, and I bought it. So.
And you like it on that finger?
I do. Actually, it fits on both. You know what's funny? I should have asked this, but then I don't know what I would have done with it. So I know they cut silver out to make this smaller. So then I was like, where's the rest of the silver? Do you get to keep the silver? Does the silver get back into here?
No, I think they just keep it. And, like, that's the whole, like, you can just, like, accumulate it, and depending what kind it is. I would guess. I don't know anything about this. But because there's, like, the different purities of silver, like, you could probably just combine it with other silver and, like, melt it down.
That's money that's been taken away from me.
I mean, yeah.
This man was like, this man was like, write a Yelp review for me. I'm like, where the fuck's my silver? Where's my silver?
I'm sure there's probably something about that, right? But, like, yeah.
I mean, I don't care.
Like, technically it is a thing where, like, you couldn't do anything with it probably unless you have, like, a kiln.
Yeah, that's what I was like, I don't think I'm going to do anything with it.
But I'm sure there's some type of either recycle it or like they ship it off to something. Yeah, there's probably something.
This is true.
But
I also have to say too, like I feel like influenced by like my friends too. I have these two friends, Bianca and Jake, like they're really into jewelry and like they're really big into silver.
Oh yeah, Jake wears a lot of jewelry.
There's this joke that we always say. He always likes to talk about like how he got this, like, I think it was a pendant or like a ring. He's like, oh, I got this in Florence. And then I tell Bianca, oh yeah, Florence and 4th Street. Like, he's going to kill me. But no, I really like I really love how they style themselves. Like, I think it's always been like such a thing of just seeing them like put together like textures and prints and all this stuff. And so I think a big part of what I took from them was like the jewelry. Like I've always loved jewelry, but I never really found the right jewelry to wear. And now that I can find like cute little things like this, it's like, oh, you know. But yeah, been a big jewelry girl.
I feel like jewelry is like a younger generation thing, only in the fact that like I think it's a lot easier for us to get pieces of jewelry. Like we have a lot more access to it than I'm thinking like my grandma, right? Just because there's, things are cheaper and you can go to Target and buy a $5 ring or whatever, right? Versus like, my grandma was like costume jewelry or the real thing. And like, and I know they had cheap rings back then too, right? But like the stereotypes, right? Of like, oh, like the bi girly with all the rings, or is it like the lesbian girly with all the rings, right? Like this is a way to indicate your sexuality is how many rings are you wearing and on what hand or whatever and all that thing, right? And like, but that is like I don't know any like 50-year-old women, like lesbian women that wear a bunch of rings to indicate their sexuality. Like maybe they do, but also, also to be honest, the ones that I'm thinking of right now, like the women that do like women, they work with their hands too much to be able to wear rings because they're just, like, but then like, like the Gen Z or millennials, maybe even like the younger millennials, like there's the whole thing about like wear all the rings or whatever, right?
It's a very Y2K, like chrome type of like
Maybe
thing.
it is that. And I did see something where someone on TikTok their hypothesis was that like, because we swung so far into the like, jewelry and whatever and different things, meaning certain, like, it's here's how to signal your status or whatever, that we're going to start to swing in the other direction of like no jewelry or low jewelry or like that kind of thing. But I feel like there's always going to be certain like groups and like fashion sides that like will always wear jewelry either to signal things or because like, that is value on your body and it makes you look good, feel good, whatever, right? But like, I don't feel like wearing no jewelry has ever actually been like trendy.
It's weird because it's like, I'm trying to think the moment I started wearing jewelry, like the actual moment I started wearing jewelry. It was funny because I think when I wanted to, I was told by someone
Continue.
that it was like tacky, but I've always wanted to wear it. And I think the moment that I was on my own, it's kind of, okay, this is kind of crazy. I don't know if this is like a phenomena or something, people that kind of like grow and like change their body. But I feel like the moment that like, again, like muscle and the moment that I seeing my body fit, it's like I always had this association that like, once you are of a certain physique, there are things that look good on you. And I feel like bracelets, like chain bracelets look really good on me. Or like this ring looks really good on me, right? I had a bracelet that I had to take off because it was making a lot of noise. But it's like I started to see that like it was looking good on me. And so I don't know, I feel like there's this association that when my body changes, I can now wear this stuff. Like I know that's not true. People can wear jewelry whenever they want, but I feel like I had to build that confidence within myself to be like able to wear like a silver piece or like a ring or something, Does that make sense?
Is it because you started caring about your appearance more though too? Like it wasn't just jewelry, it was also, because I know like also as far as clothes wise, I feel like especially in the last 2-3 years maybe, like I've put a lot more thought into what you're putting on your body, just clothing wise, even not even like just jewelry, just like even, like your shirts or like, you build outfits really well, like your Pride outfit, right? Like you didn't just go out and like buy something and put it on your body. You like had the materials, maybe you bought materials, whatever, but then you also like rhinestoned things and like you created something.
It's funny that you're touching on that because I feel like for me, and like I don't know if I'm going to get into this whole like rabbit hole thing. But I don't know. I just feel like the moment you start caring about your body, it's like you want to wear things that honor your body in the best way. And I think for me, like I always tailor my clothing. Like I never buy like new stuff. I think mostly because like I learned that from you. I learned that from Bianca. And I think I've learned that from like my friend Andrea. But like I always try to buy thrifted. Mm-hmm. And like and if there's pieces that I really love, like I'll always get them tailored. Mm-hmm. Like I just...
And tailoring makes such a difference.
It really does.
Really, yeah.
It really does. My jeans I tailored. My shirts I tailored. Like sweaters I tailor too. Like, I don't know. I feel like you want to always accentuate those parts of your body. And for me, it's always like my shoulders, like my waist and like my chest. And so I tend to buy a lot from the women's section because I feel like there's a lot of great pieces. Mm-hmm. I just feel like with men, it's just kind of, you know, no digs for men that love to wear dark colors. Like, cool on you. I just think for me, girl, I sound like a hypocrite right now.
Currently in I wear
pink.
Jeans, I wear black hat.
I wear pink. I swear to God, I'll wear pink. It's funny. I feel like I don't know. You know what they told me at the gym the other day? They were like, you look straight. And I'm like, I was literally wearing like emerald.
How offensive.
I was wearing emerald gym shorts. I was wearing emerald gym shorts and
were they long? Were they long shorts?
No, they were like they were woman shorts.
Oh, so they're like 3 inches.
And I had this like tank top that was like cream colored, but the what is it, the lining or the hem? I don't know what the name is, but it was like half blue, half red. And I thought it was like really cute. Like I was like, oh. And they're like, yeah, you look straight. I'm like, girl, I swear to God, I'm gay. You know, it was funny. I was having a conversation with somebody at the gym. Oh, you're going to say something?
No, I just thought of something. But, no, just finish your story.
There was this, somebody was telling me they were reading something online about how gay men have kind of like fallen off the radar.
I was going to say, so there's this whole thing, right, about like the whole, like that's the cycle, right, is that like, you know, it'll be something like the queer community or like, you know, the usually black, brown, and Asian community, you know, will take on a fashion sense or fashion style or whatever and make this one thing really popular. And then like, it'll become mainstream and then, you know, straight boys wear it. But then by the time straight boys are wearing it, it's already out of fashion in whatever circle it came from, right? Like, so if it came from gay boys, like the 5-inch inseam shorts, right? Like those were really big for a second. And then I feel like they probably are still like big in certain groups, but like they're you can go to Target now and find them, you know? So to me, I'm like, if I'm seeing this on the Target shelves, like that means that, not that people are going to stop wearing them in like the gay community or wherever they originated, but it's no longer like trendy, I guess, or it's not like a new idea. Cause I think when it's things like that, cause I'm like, oh, the shorter inseam was nice because it does, I think on most bodies, it just accentuates things and it makes things look nice and like, it's just a nice, like, figure versus, like, you know, a pair of, like, I don't know, like, Dickies. Like, Dickies are fine. That is also, like, a different, like, style and, like, function. But in general, I'm like, oh, this is nice. And this, like, just there's not too much material and, like, all these things, right? But the minute the straight boys start to wear it, then, like, the gay boys stop wearing it. And then they start to wear, like, the big cargo shirts. Because right now, it is, like, boxy, cargo, like, long, you know, like, I was going through like a lookbook magazine the other day and like there was a lot of like, it's kind of giving that like almost like Japanese, like kind of almost, I don't know if like Swedish is but like it's not form fitting.
It almost covers the body.
It's very like sleeper build type of look, you know, where it's like, yeah, like what is under there, you know?
Do you think they do it for mystery?
Well,
like,
that's what I'm wondering is that like, is it the whole like, you know, and people, and it is interesting when people talk about like, oh, recession indicators or whatever, and all those things. I don't know about the validity of that. I am glad I'm not an economist because I feel like if you were, you would just be stressed out all the time. But I think the whole boxy thing, I think part of it is I like it because I feel like then more people are able to wear clothes comfortably and feel good in it versus being like, you know, having come up in like the early 2000s off the heels of like, you know, the 90s when it was very like low rise skinny jeans and like cami tops layered with like a skin tight t-shirt on top of it, right? But it's very like it's gonna highlight insecurities with women, right? That's another thing. Men and women, different types of fashion senses and stuff. And even like, you couldn't say that gay men fashion sense same as girl because it's very different in the way our bodies are perceived, right? And all of that. And so, yeah, I think there is that thing though of like, yeah, the minute the straight boys start to adopt it, then everyone's like, oh, okay, bye, we're out of it.
There's like a part of me that wonders, and I don't know if this is going to sound super controversial, but like I'm wondering if fashion homogenizes the body.
Well, there's a whole what is it called, like the beige personality, right?
Yeah,
like,
that's right.
Like because you do wear a lot of color, right? But like you were saying, it's hard to find that in the men's side because men's right now clothing is a lot of just there's no personality in it. Dark blue, navy blue is the most color you're allowed to wear as a man, almost, is what the racks of Macy's would tell you.
Or when you do see color, it's always like in the expensive like designer section. So it's kind of like, why is it that men have to be limited to the more, I mean, I'm not judging anybody who gets an affordable option, but the affordable options, you majority see dark colors. And if you do see color too, it's a lot of muted pastels, like very grayed out colors. And so I'm wondering, like, you know, not to get too crazy here, but sometimes I wonder, like, do we uphold these like color standards for men to keep men within the manosphere? Patriarchy? I don't know.
Well, because I have seen like on Reddit, I've seen people like asking questions, but they're like guys that are like, oh, look, I am trying to like, you know, expand my wardrobe. I want to experiment, or I want to try out things or whatever, right? And like, they have said that exact thing where they're like, look, I go to the men's section and there's just no options for me at like a price point that's like, I can redo my wardrobe, or at least like, let me try wearing a couple of shirts that are different and fun, right? Like, I'm sorry if I don't want to drop $80 on like, you know, a nice Henley or whatever. Henleys are still cream, but like, you know, but still like something that's tailored well and something that just has color or something that is a slightly different style than usual or whatever, right? And so there is that thing, right, of the being like, yeah, you guys don't have the choice for women. We have way too many options for anyone in between. Like, you get both the best of both worlds, I guess. I don't really know, but like, there is the thing, right, of like, because I was talking to, we have to come up with a code name for him, but you know, the one that's coming on Sunday, yay! Whoa! But coming from the European perspective, right, like a non-American perspective, and like I was getting into that like we were talking about the whole thing about like, remember how when Justin Bieber showed up to Hailey Bieber's premiere and he was in like a sweatshirt and like shorts and she was like glammed up because it was her premiere, and people were having a conversation about like, was that him trying to not upstage her, but then he ends up taking the attention anyways because it's the stereotype of the schlubby man and the pretty woman, you know, the woman that her mascara costs more than your entire outfit right now. Like that bottled mascara that she bought that she's gonna have to replace in 4 months because it's hygienic. No one really does, but like, you know, it like you go to like you know, anywhere in the South Bay, well, beach cities specifically, like Manhattan Beach, Hermosa Beach, Redondo, those three I feel like are such a big offense to like seeing the guy that you're like, all right, khaki shorts, a polo, boat shoes. I mean, like, it's fine. You know, sometimes the brands are even like nicer brands that you're like, oh yeah, that's an expensive brand. But then like you see the woman and you're like, oh, you actually like took time to put on your face, to do your hair, to put something on your body. And like, you know, it just looks very like, and like, you know, the couples can do whatever they want to do, but it's so much of a thing that it's like, it's in the cultural conversation of like, what is this communicating? Why, like, is this okay? Is this not okay? Like, you know, if your partner comes out and they are dressed a certain way, is it wrong of you to be like, hey, are you really going to wear that shirt? You know, cause like that is something I have had people say that to me and I'm very just like, all right, no, you do not get to say that to me. Cause there's reasons why I will dress the way I dress or whatever. And like, you gotta deal with it, you know?
Huh.
But like, but when I was talking to, you know, Sunday Boy, he's coming from a very different perspective where to him, schlubby was not, you know, wearing sweatpants and a tank top out, like when you're on a date. It was, I forget what it was, but like the look that he ended up showing me, I was like, no, that's actually like a pretty nice casual look, you know, like, there's even a time. Okay. I get to share personal stories now. I was on this date with this guy, right? And it was a first date. We had met out in the wild. It was a meet cute, right? It was very like, here, exchange numbers, whatever. We set up a date wherever he shows up. It is a first date. We are doing an activity as in like, you know, we go and have food and then afterwards we go and like, you know, it's like a mini golf-esque type of thing or whatever. So like, it's not like a fancy date or anything, right? And I remember distinctly being like, oh, this is a first date. I'm not going to put on mascara because I kind of just, I don't know this guy. And like, he's cute and, you know, we had fun. But like, I just was like, oh, I'm not going to do the full everything because, you know, and I will still dress very cute. And I did dress very cute. I think I wore like a little like romper with like a little waist belt and everything, like jewelry and, you know, and I did a little something with my hair and whatever. And he showed up in jeans. They're like medium wash jeans, like a t-shirt and like a backwards ball cap, right? And in my head, I'm like, okay, I try not to judge the way that people are wanting to present themselves, but I think it tells me something about them, right? I won't judge it, but I will use my curiosity to investigate what it is that you're trying to communicate or what you're not trying to communicate.
I would add to that I feel like the way that people dress informs like them and their experiences, if that makes sense. It provides me a sense of like their taste and where they're at in life.
The people that wear those pants from Thailand that have the elephant on it and the cinched waist, and you're like, oh, well, tell me more about how you did the Eat, Pray, Love in Thailand in 2014 and how it was life-changing.
I think, you know, what you're saying and going back to the whole thing about my body changing, wearing what I wear, like I'm wearing this tank top because I know like my arms look great.
Yeah, and they do look great. Yeah, when you walked into my house, I was like, oh, wow, the boy that CrossFit. Look at that. We love that.
Thanks, girls. I'm single, 35, and a great credit score of 730. Anyway, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. I don't know if that's against the law. But I remember...
he is actually single, so please.
I am. I remember this guy... we went out on a date. And like when I go on dates, like I'm gonna dress up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wear my leather boots. I'm gonna wear like my bootcut jeans, a nice tank, and like a nice jacket. And I remember he saw me and he was like, "Why are you so dressed up?" And I'm like, "Because we're going on a date. Like, do you not dress up for a date?"
Okay, so that was my thing. So this guy's showing up in like a t-shirt and a backwards ball cap, right? I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't want to judge, and like I'm not gonna like walk in and then walk out or whatever. Like, you know, we still had the date. It was still fun. We actually like, we went on a couple of more dates after that. And like, you know, it just was kind of like distance wise, lives further than, you know, but anyways. And so I did ask him at the end of that, maybe this is at the end of the date or it might've been maybe the second date we had where I did ask him, I was like, how come you chose to wear a hat and a t-shirt?
You asked.
And I look like this. Yeah. Well, and okay. And part of it was because like, so we ended up running into someone that I knew during the date, like, and not really like someone I knew, but it was like a friend of a friend kind of situation, right? And she was also on a first date with a guy, but that guy was kind of dressed almost similar to like it would be like if you took your jeans, but like had a nice little like, you know, boot cut, like roll, like, you know, little leather boots and like a nice, like it was a black t-shirt, but it was like, you know, like a Uniqlo, but like it was a well-fitted one, like it was tailored or something, right? And he had like a little belt, like a belt that matches his boots, right? So it wasn't like fancy, but it was definitely I'm on a first date with this girl and I'll at least, you know, he looked like it was kind of giving like a little bit of like, you know, like the 1950s, like, you know, kind of like, ooh, like Cary Grant or something like that almost like, ooh, nice, pretty, like simple, but very intentional and well thought. And I was like, that's a nice first date outfit. Like he is also wearing a t-shirt, but he is wearing a well-tailored and he cuffed the little sleeves or whatever. And like, you know, I think it would also be a little different if it was like, yeah, we were having a date like on the pier at Redondo and you showed up a little bit more in beachy wear because I would kind of be like, all right, cool. Like I kind of understand that. But also even then, the context is a first date. The context is not you're going to go hang out with a friend. The context is not, oh, we're going to go play volleyball and then go out to the bars afterwards. The context is I am meeting you with both of us knowing that this is a first date. This is our second time ever meeting. And so maybe I don't know if it's an old fashioned thing. That's
no.
In me with the like, you've got to do a little bit of something, not like a lot, but just,
but
you know,
don't you think too? And I don't know if this is going to sound slightly like elitist, but don't you think that people that are like that can't pick up on like nuance and subtlety of like where they're going to or who they're going with? Like, I feel like you have to have some level of discernment.
Okay, so that's why I asked him, because I was like, I don't want to
assume
and judge or whatever. So I was just like, hey, I just want to know because, like, you know, I put effort. I do not look like this every day. And so what is, like, you know, it's not like I made it a completely different person for that date. But, you know, it's, again, like I didn't show up in a t-shirt and shorts or whatever.
What do you say?
and he was like, oh, well, this was the new, I think it was like, oh, I just bought this shirt and I was really excited to wear it. And like the ball cap was also new or something like that. It was kind of one of those like I just got these and I'm excited to wear it kind of thing. And I was just like, all right, cool. That's fair. I understand that. But also like, this is a first date.
Can I say something?
I mean, you're going to anyway.
I don't know. See, sometimes it's like, I want to give men like,
Benefit of the doubt?
Either benefit of doubt or a pass, because I'm like, oh, maybe somebody never.
Why?
Let me finish, girl. Well, because it's like this whole thing. Like sometimes I just feel, oh God.
Do you think someone told me how to dress on a first date?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like obviously to him, right? He made a conscious effort to buy something new because he was going on this date with you.
No, I don't know if he bought it for the date. He didn't say he bought it for the date. He said that it was like a new shirt. I did not get the impression that he had bought it for the date. I think he had simply bought a shirt. It was a new shirt. And when he chose to how he was going to dress his body that day, he went, oh, this is new.
Well, let's just assume, right? Okay. Let's just assume he bought it for the date. It's like, that's the whole thing. Like, well, he doesn't have taste. He doesn't have somebody to coach him or whatever. So it's like, do we give these people a pass because they're not making that extra effort? It's like, cause I always think about the guys that like I went on dates with, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, the fact that one guy told me, why are you dressed like this? It's like, dude, it's a first date. Sometimes I get really baffled by a lot of the guys that I dated because I always equate intelligence with taste. But that's never the case. That's like never the case. It's like, I don't know. It's like, it felt kind of weird because it's like, why would you ask me why I'm dressed like so nice because I want to go out with you? Like, you know what I mean?
I don't accept the whole, like, no one told them or whatever, because no one told me, right? I was raised in purity culture, courtship. Your first date is like group settings, right? Like, no one was like, hey, when you're on a one-on-one at a restaurant, do you wear hair? So you're not, I have looked things up. I have, Googled things, right? And I've watched movies, and like, it's all very much so in our culture. And there is the whole thing about, you are squishing your mic. And there is the whole thing about like, the way that we're presenting ourselves on first dates, and there is like a gender inequality, I think, in the way what's expected from women versus men. Because like, if I had shown up in a t-shirt and a ball cap or whatever, right, that's something's communicating to this guy, like, oh, she's not really that into it, or she's just looking for a free meal, or whatever it is a guy might assume about me if I show up on a first date like that. And like, and I have had first dates where I've shown up maybe a little bit, less done up than usual, or maybe more done up than usual or whatever. But like, I think that there is a thing about, if the context is a first date at a restaurant, and like, maybe you're doing an activity afterwards, but like, I don't think it's a big ask to be like, can you wear something with buttons?
I will never forget this. And like, I feel like in retrospect, like I think it was a good thing. A person I used to date would always tell me, why are you wearing sandals out? Like, out on a date with me. Like, put some shoes on. And to me, I always wore sandals because it was comfortable.
Long
like,
Beach. Yeah.
It's Long Beach, it's comfortable, it's all this stuff. Like, why should I have...
Well, that's also why context comes into play, right?
Yeah, like, why should I put shoes on?
Yeah.
But then I realized that, like, if we're going to, like, a nice restaurant, or we're going to see the parents, or whatever, like, that matters a lot. Not to say that I was, like, a sloppy dresser. Like, I think I was, like, an okay dresser back then. But I think now it's like, I want to make that extra effort because I love myself. And like, I want to present myself in the best light to the people that I'm like curious about on a date or whatever, even with my friends. I have, Jake will do this whole thing whenever there's like a stain on my like, pants or my shirt. He's like, what is that? What is that? You got up like this? You decided to wear that? What's going on here? There was one time, I love Jake. There was one time I wore a white t-shirt with this like cool graphic on it. And like I was eating a burger and I got a stain on it. Jake was like, girl, he went outside, got like a Tide pen and basically like cleaned the stain off my shirt.
Well, it goes into that whole thing, right? About the like, oh, you should love yourself enough to like not dress wrinkly or not dress stains or whatever. And that is also a cultural thing, right? Like I do remember I had some friends that, you know, they were traveling to a different country and they had told me they were like, oh, I'm bringing a steamer because like there's a thing where like, yeah, we're going to dress very casual, but even casually, like you don't have wrinkles in your clothes. Like that's just a big no-no, right? And like, I think, so part of it I think is code switching, right? Because you're talking about like wearing like slippers everywhere and like, yeah, like if you're in Hawaii or something like that and you wear slippers out at a restaurant, I guess that's kind of, I mean, again, depends on the restaurant, depends on where you're at, right? Here, if you're in the South Bay and you're running around slippers, fine. If I see you in downtown LA wearing slippers, I'm like, you're going to step on something you do not
Girl, you're
want.
gonna step on a needle. Girl, tetanus.
Like, yeah, there was one of my friends, you know, it was like their first time in LA and they were Birkenstocks in downtown LA and they stepped in this very gross thing and I was like,
Birkenstocks in LA?
Yeah, there was, I think,
yeah. Girl, you're not living in Portland. What?
Yeah. So, but with that, right, it's also the thing though of like, I think the way we feel about our body and how we dress and how we're choosing to communicate with what we put on our bodies, right? I think it can also then be hard for me sometimes to like then not judge people that are not dressing in a way that I feel like communicates that they care about their body. But it's also the whole thing. Because, like, you know, there's also a stereotype in South Bay, right? Of, like, oh, the richest guy in the world is probably that guy over there that's wearing, like, a t-shirt with holes in it or whatever. Or, like, oh, the richest woman is that one that's over there that probably has, like, a purse from Target, but she, like, is a multimillionaire or whatever. You know, like, I don't, like, there's also the whole thing of, like, people will try to cosplay rich. And there was the whole thing on TikTok about, was it silent wealth or... silent luxury or whatever, and that was how like the Cartier bracelet, you know, became popular because, well, that's not why it became popular.
But the subtlety behind it, the
stuff of people being like, oh, if you're wearing that one bracelet with that certain symbol on it, there's no names on it, but that little subtlety of that little logo indicates that you must have money because you spent $4,000 on this bracelet or whatever, right? I mean, there's enough knockoffs out there, whatever. But like, so there's that, right, where people are trying to like signal their wealth in that way. Then there's also the other side that I've seen play out where it is people that have way more wealth in some ways than the people that are wearing expensive jewelry, but they do not care about what they put on their body. You know?
You know, it's really interesting that you bring this up because like my mom, she loves to shop, right? But she always buys like clothing that is not of like good quality. Yeah. It's very like fast fashion. Yeah. And I feel for me, like, I wouldn't say I'm no different than my mom because, like, I buy items that I feel like are of our quality. But then it gets to a point to where, like, I'm not going to say the name, but, you know, I have this bag that I bought. Like, I really love this bag a lot. But then I kind of ask myself, by having the label out there, like, what is it saying about me?
My neighbors are doing construction. They are not doing construction. They have hired people to do construction. And so that is the noises in the background. Lo siento.
And there's like a part of me that wonders like, you know, because I have these labels on these like items, is it saying that I'm like, is it saying that I'm like, ¿cómo se dice? Like, am I bragging? I don't know.
If you are, doesn't matter. If someone thinks you're bragging, but you're not, doesn't matter. You know, it goes into the whole, that's why like, I love fashion, but I also hate fashion because it goes into the whole, like, it's communicating, right? It's another way of communicating. It's the same way, like, how people communicate with their hair and like, you know how yesterday we were talking about that professor exercise, right? About making assumptions on someone based upon like them not speaking, but like just on how they look and that whole thing, right? And like, it's the whole thing, right? Or even people that are like, I don't care about fashion. It's like, well, you're obviously not walking around naked. So you still did go to Target or Walmart or whatever, or went on Amazon and like you decided to wear a t-shirt and jeans or t-shirt and shorts or whatever, which is still a choice. If you are still choosing not to partake in fashion or whatever, like you're still partaking in fashion. It's just, you're not partaking in the fashion of tailored jeans and, you know, Henley t-shirts or whatever. Not Henley. What is that? I keep saying the wrong one. That one, really fancy white t-shirt.
Wife beaters?
No. Am I allowed to say that? No. It's the one that, like the Bear made really popular, but they're the plain white t-shirts that are really
Fruit of the Loom?
No. They're the nice version of Fruit of the Loom. Because they use the like loom in type of sewing thing. And
Uniqlo? Airwave?
No, Henley or Henley?
Henley?
I feel like I'm saying the wrong one. Anyways, it's the t-shirt it's the $80 t-shirt that it is literally just a white t-shirt. But part of the reason why it got popular was because it's just very well tailored for a lot of men's bodies or just like people's bodies in general. And also just the quality of it is really nice, right? So I don't even remember where I was going on that tangent.
Clothes, men, wealth, status.
Yeah.
Bragging.
Like someone choosing to stock their wardrobe with, $80 white t-shirts, like that could be as much of an indication as like wearing like, a giant purse that has all the logos around all of it or whatever. But it is a thing of like, you're kind of only signaling to people that like know, right? And that's why the whole like, silent luxury or sleeper wealth thing or whatever kind of became a thing, obviously online, where people are trying to like cosplay as being rich. Cause it's the weirdest thing to me in that like people will be like, here's how, the truly wealthy will dress their kid or whatever. Or like, there's a reason why they don't do logos or whatever. And I'm like,
it's kind of weird because it's like, I need to be answering this for myself, but I want to ask you, do you think I'm a brand whore?
That's hard because you also are an illustrator by profession. And so I feel like there's a lot of
choices.
There's a lot of crossover because also I think that you might have more appreciation of certain brands and the way that they've chosen to do certain things, or maybe you might dislike certain brands because you know about the things that go into something, right? And so you can we have sat down at restaurants, you've looked at the menu and been like, oh, they used a whatever font, interesting or something. Like it's been a very you're like, oh, that was like a lazy choice. And for me, I just the color pretty, I guess. I don't know. Yeah.
I appreciate that. Okay.
So some of it is, I don't think it's like you're a sucker for brands or whatever. And I think that I think at the end of the day, everyone does have certain brands that they're a fan of, or at least they're loyal to for one reason or another, right? My camera turned off. That's fine. We're still recording. But I think it's I don't know. You might be more aware of brands maybe than someone like me. I don't follow brands on Instagram. Partially, I don't follow brands on Instagram because I also don't want my feed to be an ad. But there is some that I am aware of, and partially it is because of the whole I do want to, when I am out thrifting, if I see a certain brand, I know that brand, I'm familiar with that brand, and I know that will probably be a certain quality piece. But there's a whole thing too, right? With brands I feel like you can't even be loyal to brands nowadays because they changed so much. Everlane just got bought by Shein, I think. I just saw that in the news and I was literally the opposite thing. Two opposite companies are supposed to now interact, and I don't know. Why? Do you feel like it's a bad thing to be brand loyalist or no? Because the way you asked that question kind of sounded like you thought it was a negative.
I mean, sometimes I kind of think that because it's I always had this thought that the brand wears you, you never wear the brand. Can I say a brand name here?
Yeah, I mean, sure, why not?
Okay.
We're not sponsored by anyone.
We're not. I mean, you can. Send me bracelets, girl. But, I know there's a lot of controversy with this brand in terms of the excess waste that they use.
Oh.
No, it's Coach.
Oh.
I love Coach. I love Coach. I love the jewelry they put out. It's I think it's really charming, really witty, and really thoughtful. And I feel it very much aligns with the values that I see myself with. So I always want to wear pieces that will basically accentuate what I already have. I never want to wear jewelry. I never want to wear clothes that make me feel otherwise. Mm-hmm. I think that's why I keep getting these comments that I'm butch and straight or whatever. I mean, I kind of do agree with that. I wouldn't say that I'm necessarily all
But then that's the whole question of what does it even mean to dress gay or to look gay, and the gay voice and all that stuff you can get into, right?
Well,
but
I don't know, because it's the more I think about my growth and my trajectory when it comes to the relationship of fashion and clothes, I've worn everything. I've worn skirts, I've worn fucking tube tops, I've worn
But you're more comfortable, I think, experimenting versus in general. I think you're probably a little bit more adventurous as far as just being I'm going to go on a trip to Japan on my own or whatever, right?
That was crazy.
You're more, as a person, just willing to be uncomfortable and try something. And if it doesn't work out, okay. Versus I think it's easy. Cause that's why I think you'll see 40-year-olds that look the same way as they did in their, 9th grade school photos, fashion wise, right?
How do I say this? I don't know if you'll agree with me on this, but I've come to learn from an experience with another friend that if they want to be like that, then
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying, like, it's hard for me not to, like, view that negatively sometimes, though, about being like, well, why don't you care? Because, like, what you put on your body is communicating something. But also, I, in some ways, understand, too, it's like, there's a reason why, you know, you'll see someone dressed a certain way, and part of it is because they're like, yeah, I actually really don't care, and it's because I am very confident in who I am, and I don't really care what other people think of me, and no, I'm not going to spend $80 on this t-shirt or whatever, you know, like,
I have friends like that.
yeah, but I think it could just also just be one of those things of like, hey, maybe we have different hobbies and interests because we're humans, and that's fine, right? Like, you might have an interest in, like, boats and the way that, you know all the intricacies with those things, but you don't care about fashion, like the clothes you put on your body. And it's like, okay, that's fine. I care about fashion, small interest in both, but, like, you know, at the end of the day, don't really know. And that's fine. We have different interests, and that's okay. And, like, you choosing not to be interested in the thing I'm interested in doesn't mean that you're less intelligent or sloppy or unhygienic or any of those things that you can pass judgment on with someone, you know? But, like, I think it is a thing where sometimes I will dress in a way because I know it will communicate to certain people that I like and I care about. Let me finish this thought. If I'm going to a rave, I'm going to dress a certain way to kind of show, like, hey, I've been to raves before. I know rave culture. Or if I'm going to a bar that maybe, you know, is a little more gothy or something, like, you know, I will probably dress a little bit more gothy. Like, that's not my everyday wear or anything. But I also just naturally have some pieces that are like that. So a little bit of it sometimes could, I guess, also come off almost as cosplaying or as, like, you know, appropriation or something. But also a small amount of it too is sometimes me trying to also signal, like, hey, don't worry, I belong in this space, you know?
You know, it's interesting with what you're saying because I don't know if they're going to kill me for saying this. Actually, no, because I did tell them. I did say this to them after. But, you know, I think... So, I don't have hair. I lost my hair. I think I started losing my hair, I think, like, maybe, this last year? Yeah, this last year I started losing it. And I felt like I had to really compensate with this new look, hence why I've been looking more butch lately. And I have, to my girlfriends, like Megan and Ivy, they will always comment, like, you know, where's the color? Like, you used to wear so much color, and, like, where is it? And it kind of got to a point to where, like, I did express, like, hey, like, you know, I'm really trying my best here to, like, be me. But then I remember I had a conversation with my therapist, and I shared this with them. I think regardless what I wear, I think I need to make sure that I'm authentic to myself first.
But who are you, Torres?
I'm bald now, girl. I don't know. It's like, I just feel like...
But that's why I like fashion, though, right? Because it is like it is a communication, but you also have to know yourself, right?
You have to know yourself.
Like, did you stop wearing colors because you feel self-conscious about not having hair and you don't want to draw attention to yourself? Or do you feel like it plays into aesthetic and butchness more so?
I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know if it's because, like, I'm trying to, like compensate for this. I don't know if because I'm trying to look more butch.
Why does it matter?
Well, that's the other thing.
Right? Because half of me goes, yeah, let's investigate this, let's be curious about it. But the other half of me just goes, why does it matter? As long as you're comfortable.
It's weird because in some ways, I'm always going to be authentic. I think I've always chose authenticity over everything, right? But then I think because I've been doing research on, like, fashion and, like, men who are bald and how do they, like, you know, live with this, right? It's like, I read somewhere that men who have hair, it actually feminizes their face. It softens the face, right? And, like, the moment you lose the hair, you begin to really pay attention to all the features in your face. The jaw, the brow, like, your eyes, like, everything. And so it's weird because, like, I felt like when I met Jake and Bianca and when I saw their fashion revolve around white, grays, and blacks, like, I felt that went in line with people who are, like, bald in some sense. For me, at least in the research that I did. And so I think I will say it had to do with confidence because I felt like my confidence was kind of, like, going at not an all-time low, but I felt naked. Like, I truly did feel naked, like, not having my hair. Like, there were days that I tried going out without my hat, and it was, I won't lie, like, it was hard. But I think now I think I'm beginning to understand, like, this is, like, yeah, I do miss my hair, but I think I look equally as handsome and sexy with this too. And so...
Yeah, you have a good head shape at least. There's no, like,
girl,
dent in your skull. I got lucky with that one.
Thank God, girl. And so I don't know, I think, to your point, like, it really doesn't matter. I mean, I feel like I'm starting to, like... I've noticed that blacks and colors put together, the color blocking works really well with me. So I'm enjoying that right now.
I think it goes more into, like... to me, I'm like, just have fun with it, right? If you take anything too serious... Not anything. Some things need to be taken seriously. But with things like this, right? If you take it too serious, then you do start to get like depressed or anxious or self-conscious or whatever, or really judgmental of other people, right? And you start to like be really unkind to other people because you take it too serious. But if it's just more of a like, oh, playful and like, yeah, experiment with blacks and grays and whatever and put some color in there. And who are you thinking of right now?
I'm just thinking about Megan and how she's been like telling me like you should try wigs, like you should buy a wig and like try a wig, and like I think maybe at some point I will. Like I was thinking like a nice like long black like blown out wig would look really good on me,
like a La Roche kind of a thing.
Yeah, but like it needs to be like I want real human hair. Like we're not.
Ooh, but it gets into the whole ethics of things, and that's a whole different conversation about sourcing and ethics. And...
Girl, that's episode 2.
Yeah.
Girl, we're getting different. Those long, like, 18-inch extensions. Like, no, but I've, like, thought about it. I mean, I even did the whole fucking research going to Turkey and, like, getting the hair plugs and stuff.
I want to know with first dates, do you remember what people wear on the first dates with them? Like, when there are other first dates?
Yes. Sorry. May I use the bathroom really quick?
I mean, let's just end the podcast here. We're already at 54 minutes.
Oh shit, that was quick. Okay.
Yeah, we're already at 54 minutes.
Okay.
Ish, roughly. So let's just end it here because I'll end up chopping stuff around, I'm sure. Maybe not. Maybe we'll just drop this and we just see what happens. Do you have anything to plug? Oh, your competition.
Yes. I just submitted work to the Tom of Finland competition that's coming up soon. So I submitted 2 photos and I'm really thankful for, the models that I shot out.
When do you hear back about that?
I think in about a week or 2.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
so maybe next episode, if not, then the one after that we'll know and talk about that. Your Peens, is Peens up and running still?
It is up and running right now. At Peens by Torres on Instagram. Make sure to follow me.
We can wear your Peens on this, huh?
We should do it for episode
That would be really
2.
cute.
That'll be good.
Okay, anyways, yeah, go follow. I'll Instagram us on the description, all those things. Anyways, you probably know, if you're listening to this, you know me, so I'm not too worried about that.
Sounds good.
He might be new to some of y'all, especially on that other side of the internet that I pretend doesn't exist. For me, I'm in a surf competition tomorrow. I'm doing my first surf competition. So yay, I am terrified and anxious, and I am glad that Naomi talked me into it. So
I think it'll be good.
I'm trying to look at it as it's a learning experience. I get to go and hang out with a bunch of other surfers. It's Queen of the South Bay, so it's a bunch of like specifically like women surfers, along with is it the South Bay Surf Riders Society or South Bay Board Riders?
Yeah.
I have to get their name right. South Bay something. I'm sorry. Anyways, they do a lot of like beach climate activist, beach cleanups, all those things. So they're a really good organization. And so I want to support them. I want to go hang out with everyone. Just have a good beach day in general. But that is my Friends Heat is at 7 a.m., 7:30 a.m., and I'm on at 9 a.m. And so we're going to do it. I'm sure I will freak out up until that point, and then it'll be fine. It'll be chill, 15-minute heat, and then we'll be good. But yeah, I guess we can mention how that goes next time.
It'll be exciting.
So yeah, go follow us on Instagram. Go look at our Patreon for our unreleased episode. I don't know if we'll actually put that out or not. We'll have to see if we put that out or not. But go look at our Patreon because there's stuff on there. So
it'll be good.
Okay, cool. Bye.
Bye.
Is that how we're gonna end things?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
We'll figure it out.
Go Chica.
Sorry.